They call me Marco Ferro, but my real job is keeping the system quiet. You think you know the rules? You haven't seen my playbook.
I don't move physical cash, I move belief. And when you are dealing with billions, the last thing you want is a paper trail leading back to you.
He received 41 calls before noon that day. He answered none of them before 6. Every morning he counted what was his. The city never counted back. The Razor was older than most of his employees. He trusted it more. He read no emails. Paper burned. Servers remembered. He checked under every car, every single morning, for 22 years. He envied them nothing. He understood them less each year. None of them knew why they stood. It had simply always been done. Silvio had been sweating in that chair for 9 years. The numbers were always correct. He had not spoken for 14 minutes.
We don't have to agree.
They
We
had
don't have to
filled
agree.
every
We don't
second.
have time to disagree.
The contractors left smiling. They would not smile for long. His wife had been dead for 6 years. The photo remained where she had placed it. He had owned this building for 18 years. He had visited it 4 times. Lorenzo had borrowed money in 2009. It was now time to discuss the interest. It contained neither money nor threat, only a name and an address. He had given Lorenzo 3 days. Lorenzo had needed to hear it, without words. The 3 contractors would not attend tomorrow's meeting. Dante had seen to that. He ate alone every Tuesday. The owner always knew not to seat anyone nearby. He had been photographed 1,014 times by 11 different agencies. He had counted. No recording devices, no staff, no minutes taken. This was the only room that mattered. He watched the hands. Liars always forgot about their hands. With 2 taps of one finger, 4,000 people changed employers that afternoon. Menenti had raised his voice. In 20 years, no one had raised their voice at this table. The key fit nothing Menenti owned. It fit everything Menenti feared. Richie had voted yes before the glass reached the table. He had wanted to for months. Detective Morrow had been building this board for 4 years. There was no arrest in it yet. 700 photographs. None of them admissible. 4 years. This was the first time she had seen them in the same frame. She did not smile. She had been fooled by photographs before. The figure did not move. It did not need to. He had watched Felice since the boy was 12. He had not decided about him yet. He had learned to remove the wraps before approaching. Someone had taught him well. The boy was good at listening. He was also good at being watched listening. The right answer was to not touch it. Felice knew this. That itself was concerning. His stride did not change. Inside, a decision had been made, and then unmade, and then made again. He said, "Not yet." Then he watched the water for a very long time. Coincidences were expensive in his world. This one had just cost Felice everything. He left the bodyguard at the gate every time. It was the only place he did. He had learned to peel vegetables in prison. He had never told her that. For 40 minutes, he was someone else entirely. No one at any other table would have believed it. She asked the same question every year. He loved her enough to keep not answering. The hands that signed documents, that placed keys on tables, closed gently around hers. He looked at the car while holding her. He was already somewhere else. The room had been locked. The security system had logged nothing. The envelope was there. The photograph was taken at 1930. He had been holding his niece's hand. He made 6 calls in 4 minutes. By morning, 12 people would be standing outside her house. The phone had 1 contact saved. He had not used it in 4 years. The old phone contained a conversation that could end everything, for him and for others. Someone had placed that envelope. Someone who had been in his garden at 1930. Dante's expression changed. In 11 years, it had never changed. He had 40 minutes. He had probably already used 30 of them panicking. They were not in a hurry. Hurry implied the outcome was uncertain. The voice had no accent. It had given her exactly what she needed. That was the problem. She went anyway. She had been waiting 4 years for any door to open. The car was gone. The men were gone. The door was open. This was a gift. The phone was left on the table. It was not forgotten. It was placed. She was holding exactly what he wanted her to hold. and she could not put it down. Meninti employed 12 guards. 4 of them had taken money from Pharaoh last Thursday. He had researched every lock in Milan that key might fit. He had found nothing. That was worse. Felice had been his plan, his insurance, his exit. None of these things were still true. The guards were paid to open the gate. Tonight, they had been paid twice. He had visited the villa once before. He remembered every corridor. He understood what the key was now. It was the last thing he would ever understand. He had learned, long ago, not to wait for confirmation. It never changed anything. She had been called. She had expected to be called. That was the problem. No weapon, no witnesses, no key. 4 guards who saw nothing and would say less. He had given her Meninti. He had taken Felice. He had removed a rival and tidied a loose end in one evening while attending a family dinner. He had run correctly and efficiently and completely into the place Pharaoh had prepared for him. He read it for 2 seconds. He did not react. He placed it back where it had been. 41 calls. He had answered none. He would answer none tomorrow either.